Hi, Pre-Algebra students. We are back for Project 5, Lesson 22. We have another 3 questions to work through, and we're still dealing with the obstacle course that is set up like a coordinate plane. So let's go ahead and read through this. Okay, question 1. The location of the obstacle course Transformation Fitness Studios often gets crowded. Therefore, the company opened up a second location, Reflections of You, on the other side of town. The obstacle course at Reflections of You is the same as the one at Transformation Fitness Studios, except it is a horizontal reflection, meaning this means all of the checkpoints have been reflected in the y-axis, okay? So we had points at 0 and 5, -9 and 5, and -4 and 5. So let's go see where those points were. Here we had, let me use my pen. Okay, so this is our 0 and 5. This was A. And then all the way down, this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. -9 and 5 was B. And then -4 and 5 was C. Okay, and now all of these points are going to be reflected over the y-axis. And so, actually this is quite easy. All right, so if our point of reflection here is this y-axis, all right, the mirror image of point A is still point A. Nothing's changing there. But point C, and I'm going to do these in pink, point C is just going to kind of go all the way over and mirror over here. Okay, so this would be C prime, and this is also A prime, okay? And then point B is going to do the same thing. If you were to fold this in half, if this were wet paint and you were going to fold it in half, it would make a smudge here. B prime at 9 and 5. Okay, so their x value is the one that changed because we're reflecting across the y-axis. All right, so our new points are 0, 0 and 5, 4 and 5, and 9 and 5. All right, let's see if we can find those on the other sheet. So A prime would be 0 and 5. These are all 0 and 5. Okay, B prime would be 9 and 5. That looks good, and that looks good. And C prime would be 4 and 5. So this is a -4. We can't use that, so the +4. So this is 0, 9, and 4. All the 5s stayed the same. Okay. Question 2. The company also has plans to open up a third obstacle course location, the Gridiron, where the first 3 checkpoints will have coordinates of 0 and -5, 9 and -5, and 4 and -5. Okay, so then we want to know how this relates to the other 2 locations. All right, so let's go back to our grid and we're going to mark our first several locations. Okay, so we've got 0 and 5, -4 and 5, and -9 and 5. So this was B, C, A, and then we had C prime. Oops, let's do these in a different color. C prime, A prime, and B prime. Okay, and now we've got one more location, and they're at all of those positive values of x, but just the negative value of y. Okay, so we're still on our A value is still on that y-axis, but now it's down here at a negative 5. Let's draw that. So this would be a double prime, and C is still at the positive 4, but it's also at negative 5, and B prime is, or B double prime would be at a positive 9 and still negative 5y. Okay, so to get from the second location to the third location, so from 2, let's do a different color there. From 2 to 3, we had to reflect over the x-axis, right? Okay, but to get from 1 to 3, okay, 1 to 3, we had to reflect over both the x and the y-axis. So we went to here, that was our reflection over the y-axis, and then to here, that was the reflection over the x-axis. Okay, so we reflected x and y-axis. And the order that you would do that in doesn't necessarily matter. We could have first gotten down here and then over, or over and then down. Either way would work. Okay, so let's choose those answers. So to get from the reflections of U, let's see, it's a reflection of reflections of U on the x-axis, okay, and then it's a reflection of Transformation Fit Studios in the x and the y-axis. Okay, so Transformation Fit Studios was the first location, so it had to go twice, and Reflections of You was the second location. It had to go only once, and that was along the x-axis. Whew, hopefully that makes sense. Let's scroll down to the last one. Prior to training for the obstacle course, Helena bought a new pair of athletic shoes. She placed them on the floor next to each other and noticed that the right shoe looked just like a reflection of the left shoe. If she'd accidentally purchased 2 left shoes, how would this comparison change? So if she had bought 2 left shoes, and then I'm going to try and draw a shoe here, and it'll be like a shoe print, right? Let me try that one more time. So that's like our left shoe print, okay? And then if she had bought 2 left shoes, they would have looked like that. They would have had that indent there on the right, okay? That's like your arch, all right? But a reflection would give you that opposite indent, okay? So if she'd bought 2 left shoes, it would have looked more like a translation than a reflection, all right? So that's what I'm going to type in here. If she bought 2 left shoes, the second shoe would have looked like a translation instead of a reflection. Okay, so a translation is just when you take the exact same shape and you move it left, right, up, or down, diagonal, but it's the exact same shape. It hasn't been flipped over like a reflection has. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you back here for lesson 23.